Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we're here to take a look at these new US Games minis. They are super cute, super tiny, and I'm very excited to share them with you. Shout out to US Games for sending these over to me for purposes of review and so that I can share them with you. We're going to go over the sizing. I'm going to compare them to a few other decks that I have around here. We're going to go through all of the guidebooks because they all come with little white books that are actually pretty decent little white books. Like think OG US Games Tuck Box little white books. So they have a little bit more than just keywords, right? And we're going to go through all of the cards for each deck. So we're going to go through each one individually, and that's going to be fun. But before we start with that, let's talk about the sizing because I know that is what everybody is so curious about. These are true minis. And if I'm looking at them next to like a 10 deck, so if you have a US Games 10 size deck, which probably could feel mini to most people, you can see that these are smaller. So if you're looking at them up against a 10 size deck, they are significantly smaller. So I'm going to compare them when I get them out of the box here in a moment to these two decks. Plus, I'm going to compare them to this standard size tarot deck, just so that you can get a feel for the size difference. I'm also going to just show you just really quickly this up against this, but I'm not going to show these side by side because I want to be able to zoom in really close on these when we do the flip through. But I'll show you a couple of cards just so we can compare. So let's do this. So the reason that I chose these two 10 size decks is because, as you can see, they are two different sizes. The 10s are relatively the same size, right? Most of them are relatively the same size. They might be off by a millimeter or two, but they're mostly the same size for all of the 10 decks. But the cards inside are often a little bit different. So I have chosen this universal weight, which, as you can see, this is the size it is. It fits in, it doesn't completely fit the 10. So we're going to use this title card, which is, the size of these cards, to compare to these, as well as the title card for the Vanessa Tarot, which is a 10 size deck that actually fits the 10. So depending on which ones you might have or have had, you can kind of get a feel for what size these cards might be. Let me just pop these off to the side. All right, so we're just going to pop those there, and I want to get these out of the box. But before I do, I just want to show you the boxes, what they look like. So those are the tops. All right, and here are the backs. And just so you can see, the sides all have the writing. Okay, so we have Tattoo, Deviant Moon. This one is the Borderless Rider-Waite, and this one is the Mystical Moments. And then the other side. Okay, so those are the other sides, and they all have like an image. Just so that you know what they look like. So because these are mini decks, you don't want to get caught up with the fake decks online. I know there are a lot of them, and often the times they come in tuck boxes and they're mini. So, just be aware of what the tuck box should look like. They all came wrapped in shrink wrap on the outside, and then the insides came like this. And I didn't open this one yet, so I wanted to show you. So you'll see the cards are wrapped and the booklet was not wrapped with the cards, which actually is good because it means that that you won't have a bow in your cards. Because sometimes when they wrap the booklet with the cards, if the booklet is slightly smaller, it could cause your cards to bow. So that's the box. All of these boxes are the same on the inside. There's nothing really to show there, just plain white tuck boxes. And they feel about like, I would say like any tuck box that you've ever gotten a US Games deck in, they all feel about the same. All right, so let's compare these. So I have my little stack here. Just a quick reminder, we have the black and white one is the full size tarot card. This is a normal size RWS size card that you would get any deck in that is normal tarot size. The Vanessa Tarot is the one that fills the 10, and the Universal Weight is the one that's a little bit smaller than the 10. And now we can look at up against the Mystical Moments, which is the largest one here. So it's about that size. So there it is. So there's the Mystical Moments. That's the size that's coming in at. And just really quickly, let me show you that up against the full size card. I have this is the only one I actually have the full size of that I could compare it to for you. There are full sizes of all of these though, if you're interested. All right, so that'll just, wait, let me just put it like this so you can see it a little bit better. So that's the difference in the size. Much, much smaller, almost a fourth of the size of this card. But the Tarot of Mystical Moments is a little bit bigger anyway than a normal tarot size deck. Okay. Oh, I gotta get these out of the plastic. Hang on. You're probably noticing that the Borderless RWS deck, which is this one, actually doesn't have a border on the back, which I'm pretty sure that the full size did have a border on the back. I don't have that one to be certain, but I think it did. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so that's the size of this one, a little bit smaller than a Tarot of Mystical Moments. For the Deviant Moon, it's even a little bit more. They're all the same height, like I said, but this one is a little bit more narrow. You can kind of see there. Have the Mystical Moments, the RWS, the Deviant Moon, and the 8 coins. I thought that this one was more narrow than this one, but it looks like the Deviant Moon is actually more narrow than the 8 coins tattoo tarot. So there I am fooled. My eyes were playing tricks on me because this to me looks more narrow, but actually the Deviant Moon is the narrowest one. It's just by like a millimeter, but it's still. All right, so that's the sizing. So I had to put them all back in their little boxes because there's so many that I was afraid the cards were going to get like knocked around. But I will say I've been in and out of those little tuck boxes quite a few times and they open and close nicely. The first time I opened it, I had to like work on it. I had to like pop it open. But ever since then, they've been fine. So that's good. They're not so tight that you can't open them, which is good because they're so small. You don't want to tear them up. Because what would you keep these cards in if you didn't have the little box, you know? All right, let's zoom in. Okay, so let's take a look at the itty bitty book. So we have it's paper, and stapled, little tiny white book. It's a little bitty version of a little white book, and it's comprehensive. Everything that was in the bigger book is pretty much in this book. You don't have anything missing except for maybe a few words here or there that might have felt repetitive. Like this says the fool, an adventurous young girl. Like maybe if the bigger book might have said the fool more than once in this definition, they've taken out the repetitive, the fool, just I think to shrink it down so it fits better on the page and also to make sure that we can see the writing. The writing on the book is smaller than the normal size book because the book is smaller, but I can see it and I do wear glasses. My vision is impaired. I do wear glasses. It's often difficult for me to see little bitty books like this, but for some reason, I don't know what they've done. I think it's something about the font they used and the contrast. Like it's very dark on a very white page. It's very easy for me to read this with my glasses on. And this is being held pretty far from my face, and I can see this with no problem. So this book didn't give me any issues for the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and you can kind of take a screenshot there if you want to see what kind of information you get in the guidebook. But you get write-ups on the cards and upright and reverse keywords for all of the cards. And I even think they even put a little spread in the back, y'all. And a little about the author. So yeah, pretty good guidebook for such a tiny deck. You do still get the card that gives you some information about the deck. And that one has a plain back, so you can use it just to, keep the cards from getting messed up in the tuck box or as a blocker card. I did notice that the backs of these were printed off center just a little bit. So if that bothers you, that is a thing. I saw that on a couple of the decks. You can see here they're off center, but then as you get further along, they're centered, and then So I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me because the gray is so light, I probably will never notice it. But for someone who it might bother, that is, something to consider. It's not all of the cards, but there are some of them that are printed a little bit off center on the backs. The fronts are fine. I didn't see any issues. I looked through all the cards. We're going to take a look. If you've never seen these cards, Catherine Waldstein, I want to say she collages her own paintings together. This is a surrealist collage style deck. I don't know if she's collaging pictures or paintings or images. I want to say these are her own paintings, but you'll have to let me know if you know something different. You do get, I forgot to mention, you do get 2 emperors, 2 kings of each one. So you get a male and a female presenting emperor. So if you wanted to have all females, you could take out all the males. I keep all of the cards in the deck because I feel like they give different energies and they, make me think about different meanings. So I like having all of them in there. So I'm going to just put on some music, and for those of you who have never seen this deck, enjoy some of this beautiful, dreamy, interesting artwork and interesting takes on the cards. I do love this deck. I have a full walkthrough of the full size if you would like to see it. I will pop it up here in the cards for you, and you can find those cards down below the description box. Always, that's where they put them at the end of the video, anything that I put up here, or you can click the link that's up there and it will take you directly to the video, and then come back here when you're finished watching that if you want. If you're not interested in seeing these cards, if you've seen them already, just scooch forward and we'll talk about the next deck. Okay, here we go. How cute this is. Oh my goodness. I'm obsessed with these little bitty cards. And I can actually see the images on here. And maybe because I work with the bigger deck, I have it and I work with it, so I know what what I like to see in the cards or what's there. I know already. I would say if you don't have the bigger one, this would be a fine place to start. I can see everything and I have bad eyes. So if you have 20/20 vision, you're probably going to be able to see this even better than I can. So yeah, this is cute. Definitely cute. And you could do like a big spread with it with no problem. So all of the minis come on their buttery matte cardstock, which is so lovely and glidey and feels lovely in the hands. Shuffles, oop, like a dream. Look at these jumping. They want to chat. Like shuffles like a dream. We love this cardstock. US Games cardstock it's so nice. It feels nice in my hands, so I enjoy it. Um, the shuffle, because the cardstock is their typical cardstock, the cards are a little bit smaller than the larger ones. They are a little bit stiff. So if you like to riffle shuffle, I mean, they're so small you could force them. Um, but I definitely find that the more pleasant way to shuffle them is the overhand for me. But you could definitely shuffle them. I mean, it's not a super thick cardstock, but they're definitely sturdy. That's for sure. because the cards are so small. Now, I did want to compare a couple of these to the larger one, just so that you could get a feel for. I didn't see any color differences when I was going through, and I definitely didn't notice any differences in the artwork. But I thought we could just take a look together here. If you guys want to see a full side by side of these, let me know. I'm happy to do it. Make another video. But like I said, I do have a full walkthrough of the larger one with all my thoughts on the cards as well. So you could just take a look at that one if you're not, if you're not keen to see the side by side. Yeah, I'm not seeing any color differences here. Even though this one is glossy and this one is not, they still look great, both of them. So, oh, I didn't pull out the King of Wands. So there's the female King of Wands comparison there. And just really quickly, I just wanted to show you a comparison in the book. So I have here the two King of Wands entries, so you can take a look side by side. If I can get my fingers out of the way, you can take a screenshot there and compare them. Okay, let's take a look at the Smith-Waite one. This is the Borderless Smith-Waite edition in a mini size. I don't have the bigger one of this, so I have no clue what the guidebook is like. But this one is pretty good. You get some history of the tarot, the history of the RWS at the beginning. There's quite a few pages up here on that. What am I trying to say? The major arcana comes with keywords for upright, and reversed. And the minor arcana actually gives you some information on the imagery in the cards, as well as those upright and reversed keywords as well. So yeah, halfway decent guidebook. I was surprised by how much information they fit in this little tiny book, because this is smaller than the Mystical Moments book. It's more narrow. The writing, I can still see it's smaller than the one in the Mystical Moments, but I can still see it. I think I'm not squinting, or it doesn't hurt my eyes to look at it, so I can still see it. These are the backs. Came with a title card, which is just all of the information, and you can use it as a blocker card because it has the same backs. Then this was some information about, I think, the extra cards that are in the deck, also with the backs. And then here are the extra cards. So there are 4 of them. Other artwork by Pamela Coleman Smith. So those are the extra cards that you get. These are borderless on the front and the back. I'm pretty sure the larger version of this has a border on the back, but don't quote me on that because I don't actually have it. But you can correct me in the comments, of course, if I have that wrong. And I want to say that these are the Centennial edition. So it says the Borderless Smith-Waite Tarot deck faithfully reproduces the original, yes, 1909 tarot deck created by Pamela Coleman Smith. So this is the original one. And this is the first edition of the deck. So it says in 2009, U.S. Game Systems published the complete Pamela Coleman Smith commemorative set, which features the Smith-Waite tarot deck and prints and postcards of Pamela's work. It also included a 101-page book, the artwork and times of Pamela Coleman Smith, which relates the story of her life and illustrates much of her art. Okay. It says tarot collectors shared with us that the commemorative set was so precious to them that they preferred to keep the complete set in pristine condition. In response to U.S. Game Systems issued a standalone version of the Smith-Waite Centennial Tarot deck for collectors who wanted to do readings with that special deck. Customers have also conveyed to us their desire to have a borderless version of this iconic deck, so we are pleased to present the Borderless Smith-Waite Tarot deck. As a way to introduce those who may be less familiar with Pixie's background, we have included this deck 4 samples of Pixie's non-tarot art from our collection, an illustration for the scene from Deidre, Act 3, that appeared in the Green Sheaf, number 7, Supplement 1909, Catch Me, an original watercolor painting, circa 1905, by Pamela Coleman Smith, based on Schumann's Opus 10, number 4, and then Duet, a 1946 watercolor. That's way later. Pamela created to the music of Russian composer Igor Stravinsky, and detail of the sheet music illustration she created for A Christmas Carol by Edwin Waj, printed by R.H. Russell in 1898. All right. And then it talks a little bit about author Edmund Wade, and then it has some information about the tarot. So yeah, you can see that these are reproductions of that original deck. I think there's one, maybe two of them still circulating, maybe five. I think maybe I heard that there were five. Um, of the originals, and the people who own them were kind enough to either bequeath one to the U.S. game systems or allow them to reproduce the deck. So that was kind. All right. Page. They're going backwards here. I wasn't paying attention because I was reading, but it looks like they're going backwards. Here's the 7, 6. Ooh, Lord. Slippery little suckers, aren't they? All right, there's the 5. There's the 4, 3, 2, and ace. Here are the backs. Here are the backs. And then once again, like I said, they are on the same, that waxy, that buttery US Games cardstock. So nice and slippy. Okay. Oop. Oh my goodness. They're so small. I'm having a hard time holding on to them. All right, there we go. Let's see. Let's see if we get a jumper. There we go. Look how cute these are. Oh my God. I'm so obsessed. Look, I already have reversals in here somehow. Look how many I can fit. Oh, look how cute this is. Yeah, I like this. And it's nice and toned down. So if you don't like the bright yellows, I mean, that's as bright as it gets. Everything is pretty, you can see everything is pretty worn and sepia looking or whatever. So that is the Borderless. Okay, let's do this one next. This is the Deviant Moon by Patrick Valenza. This is the Borderless miniature edition. I do believe there are 2 versions of this deck. There's a Borderless and a Bordered. This is the mini of the Borderless edition. It's very narrow. Okay, for the guidebook for the Deviant Moon, there's no preliminary information, just straight into the major and minor arcana. You can get a look at what it says. So you get a little bit of the information of what's on the card. So this one says, unaware of his surroundings, the fool begins his journey by wandering into the canal. He has no experience with life, therefore he has no fear of it. So basically what you get are a few sentences that tells you who the person is and how they're feeling in this card, why they're doing what they're doing. And then you get some upright meanings and reversed meanings. So there's nothing too much here, but it's enough. It's enough to get you going. And I feel like for this little tiny book, if you could see, like this is my finger. Like this is how big this book is, right? It's the size of my little fingers, and I have short fingers. So they put a lot in this little tiny book. All right, let's take a look at the cards. I was continually impressed by how much they put in that little book. I was like, how did they fit all of this? And I could still read it. That's crazy. These cards are strange. I don't have this deck. I've seen it, of course, before because people talk about it, but I never had any affinity to it. I never was one to be like, oh, I want to try it ever. But having it here, see now I'm looking at it on my screen and I'm like, oh, that's horrifying. You even have a dead like kind of monster fish down here. This is the way his arm, it's horrifying. But when I look at it with my naked eyes, the cards feel so distant. They feel so far away because they're so small that I think it looks cute. It almost looks cute. So that's an interesting discovery for me because I know that when I've seen this deck on people's channels and on Instagram and all over right now, of course, because it's Halloween, I'm always feeling a little bit of like, ooh, this is a lot. And even when I'm looking at it in my screen, I feel the same. This is really pretty. But I mean, I can appreciate nice art even if it's creepy. But looking at it on these cards, because they're so tiny, it almost feels kind of cute. And I do like the coloring. So I feel like this would make a fantastic like little clarifier. And things on here are a little bit strange and a little bit offbeat. So maybe working with the guidebook. What is going on here? Are they dead? Are they underground? Have they been buried? I don't know. I don't know. I have to look. Let's look in the guidebook. I know I said I wasn't going to stop because I have a lot to go through, but I got to see. Let me see. It says, the girl in the ground, yes, is dreaming again. Her visions illuminate the tomb. 3 swords are plunged into the earth to mark her place for sleep. A 4th sword lies buried beside her. And then it says, rest, re-energizing oneself, retreat, exile, introverted thoughts. And reverse meanings, renewed vigor, a return to daily life and events and activity. Well, she'd have to crawl up out that ground to get back to daily life, wouldn't she? Here's the 3. 2. This one's also hustling backwards. We start with the King of Wands, the Queen, the Knight. So something like this on the screen looks terrifying to me because I don't like bugs. But on this little card, it doesn't bother me because it's just so small. Like I said, it feels a little bit more distant, which I really appreciate. So now I'm excited to kind of work with these cards, which I never felt that way about this before. So shout out to a mini, Shout out to a mini. It really changes the game, huh? And the way that the cards feel. Look at this, is beautiful. It's creepy as hell. Look at this baby's face. There's a creepy baby. I just did the Twilight Tarot tag, and one of the prompts was creepy baby. That's definitely a creepy baby. All right, I'm gonna put on some music and let you take a look at the rest of these really huge but disturbing cards. So the backs of these didn't give me the same issue as the mystical moments. You can see these are pretty good. I had one card that was off printed off center. It was just that last card, and I've shuffled it now, so of course I can't find it. But all of the rest look great. So no problems there with the backs. And that could have just been my copy of the mystical moments. Every printing, every little box is not the same. It doesn't bug me. So it's good I'm the one that got it. Because it could have gone to someone who that would have really bothered, or maybe all the boxes aren't like that. Let me see. Something flipped. What was it? I thought I saw something. Yeah, something flipped. Okay, let's take a look at them laid out. Ooh, how adorable. Oh man, I didn't know. I didn't know, y'all. I had no clue. I've been ignoring this deck for so long. I think it's the size. I think if I had these in a full size, they would creep me out. They would creep me right out. But like this, I'm here for it. I think this is going to be great. I'm going to put this on my table for Halloween. We're still in October, so I'm going to put this on my table as a clarifier and see how it goes. As such, they don't feel so creepy. They just feel kind of quirky and cute. So I'm going to try them. But that's the Deviant Moon Mini Borderless Edition. All right, last but not least is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot Borderless Miniature Edition. Now, my first impression of this one was that I would love to see this one done in a full-size Borderless edition, maybe like a little tuck box version. Um, same guidebook, same little mini guidebook, but in a larger, like a full size card. Because this was the one pack that I was like, this is difficult for me to see. Now I do wear glasses, so there's that, but I have to strain. I can read this, but it's a strain. I can probably only read maybe like one, maybe two entries at a time before I have to like give my eyes a break. So you can take a screenshot. And here is just read for the full. You get a little bit of information about major arcana, and I think at the beginning of each suit, also, yeah, a little bit about the suit. No intro to the deck or anything like that, which I'm sure the larger guidebook probably has, but only so much real estate for this little mini. But you do get some information about the deck on the sides of the boxes, guys. So, it says that this one is painted art created in watercolor, spit shade style. The art forms are of iconic imageries, paid homage to tattoo and tarot traditions. So you do get a little information there. Okay, so this one says, following their heart and intuition, the fool travels through the mountains alone. They are young, excited for their journey, but perhaps a little naive. They haven't yet been bitten by life, so they know no fear of the world. The red feather and the red jewel show that the fool is led by pure passion, fire, and enthusiasm. The white flower symbolizes the joy of diving into the unknown. The snake symbolizes the dangers in throwing caution to the wind. Let go of fear and enjoy the journey you are on. All adventures require a bit of risk, so follow your heart. That's really good. So you do get information about what's in the card or what she's drawn there and what some of the symbolism is. That's probably why the writing is so small on this one. Tarot of Mystical Moments does a little bit of that, but for the most part, the others were just kind of quick, like one or two sentences. It wasn't like delving into symbolism like this one is, which is probably why they had to make the writing small to fit it in the little bitty book. So you have to give a little to get a little, right? I can obviously read it. I just read it, but like I said, one or two, and then my eyes start to feel a little tired. Not as comfortable for me. Now, again, I wear glasses in case you didn't hear that earlier, so might not be the same for you. Also, I felt the same way about the cards. I think that these are beautiful. I would like to see the details a little bit better, so I am considering getting the larger version of this one. The smaller one is difficult for me to make out details for my eyes. But I think it would be so cool if they would do a full-size borderless edition of this with just that same guidebook. It doesn't even need to be a big book, big box set like the other one, What do you guys think? Would you buy that? Like, if you're a fan of this deck, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Would you buy another copy if it was like a full-size, regular price tuck box version with the same guidebook? What do you think? Let me know. I thought that these are so pretty. The shading. I don't think I have any other tattoo decks, so this is a different style for me. Or maybe I do. I have the vendor deck. Maybe that one is a similar style. But I think this is beautiful. But like, look at this one. All that detail. It's difficult. All I can make out is texture. I can't even see the detail, and I can see it in the screen, on my computer screen here. But like on the cards, no. Oops. I know. Catastrophe. Okay. All right. That's the King of Wands. Ace of Cups. Really pretty. This one is cool. Four of Swords. Oh, that's really cool. This is really cool for a Four of Swords. Look at the little city down here. I wonder what it says in the guidebook about the city at the bottom. Does it say it in this guidebook? Let's see. It says the Four of Swords reminds us of the importance of rest and recovery. We cannot expect to function efficiently without quiet time. We need to recharge. A person rests their head and lets their mind go free. It's not easy to resist the distractions of our waking life, but personal growth and rejuvenation only come when we take a step back. Give yourself some space to rest. If left unchecked, the world will leave your wheels spinning in a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. It's up to you to take the time you need to recharge. Yeah, it was hard for me to read that. My eyes kept going in and out of focus trying to find it. I think maybe this is meant to be the distractions um, of the world around you. Look at this beautiful Six of Swords. This is really pretty. I think, should I get the bigger version, guys? I don't know. Maybe I got to. Maybe I have to. Because now this is on my radar and I kind of want to know more, you know? I want to see more. But I can see it in the screen. So maybe I should just take advantage of that and run the video back for myself, you know? That's one cool thing about making these videos. Here are the backs. The width of this one is kind of perfect for my thumbs. So I can like hold these the best, I think. Two of Cups. One of my favorite cards came out first. Isn't that lovely? Right. How do you guys feel about the borderless on this? Does it feel too busy without the borders? Let me know in the comments. I know I've seen that I've seen quite a few people mention that they cut the borders off of theirs on Instagram and even here on YouTube. So, maybe this could be an option, for people who are really into borderless cards. I think these look beautiful borderless. Yeah, these look gorgeous to me. So that is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. So there we have it, the new minis from US Games Systems. Again, we have here the Tarot of Mystical Moments miniature edition. And this one is the Smith-Waite Tarot deck Borderless Centennial edition. Here we have the Deviant Moon Tarot Borderless miniature edition. And finally, this one is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot Borderless miniature edition. And that's all I have for you today. So share your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think? This one surprised me. It really did. I never thought I would ever be interested in that deck, but I really like it in this miniature version. And this one, I think I might get the bigger one. We'll see. Or I may just use the video. We'll see how that goes. This is really cute. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think you'll pick any of these up? Can you see yourself using them? In what capacity would you use them? Especially if you have the other deck. Do you think you would also pick up, if you have the larger version, do you think you would also add this little mini version to your collection? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I think these make great little Christmas gifts or gifts in general, stocking stuffers, whatever, for anybody who might be interested in tarot, because they each come with a really good book, like a little white book that really gives you some information on how to read the cards, what the cards mean. It's not just like their 10 decks, you get an actual guidebook in the box. So I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. And if you wanted to like gift a deck to someone who, was unsure if they like tarot, or, you just wanted something that was like on a less expensive side to offer someone as an option, let them try it, see if they like the artwork or whatever, this is a fantastic option because it comes with the little book. So they can, if they don't know how to read, they can learn, you know? So yeah, these are cool. These are really, really cool. I will put links in the description box to where you can find them. I'm going to put the Amazon affiliate links because I always do that. You know, I'm an Amazon affiliate. And when you guys buy from Amazon, that helps me out just a little bit. It doesn't cost you anything. But I'm also going to put the US Game Systems link because I think right now they're still on pre-order at the time that I'm filming this, which is mid-October. And I don't know when they're going to go live on Amazon. I want to say it's next month, but if you wanted to buy them for like Christmas gifts and stuff, I think US Game System has them on sale right now. So I'm going to put both links down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow, helps me know what you guys like to see. If you want to see that side by side of the Tarot of Mystical Moments, let me know in the comments below. If I hear enough people saying it and upvoting it and things, I will definitely make that video for you guys. If you know anybody who you think might want to see these decks and hear the details and the sizing and stuff, share the video. It helps them get out there as well. And if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle. And until I see you next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye bye.